Well, lyrically, Eminem kills Kamikaze like Jason kills horny teenagers. I mean, god damn, man. My brain took a lyrical ass whooping listening to that album. It felt like Travis Barker had been banging on my eardrums after it was over. Eminem was on point with this new release. This was hitting better than a Nicki Minaj-Cardi B fight. And like Cardi B's face, M had to leave a mark with this album because Revival, well, it didn't revive anything. But to his credit, his creativity was second to none on this album. His multi-syllable rhyme schemes were fire as his frustrations boiled over on rappers like Machine Gun Kelly, Tyler the Creator, and Lord, please stop saying stupid Jamar for various reasons. But one rapper he dissed on this album felt different for a few different reasons.
Somebody tell Budden before I snap, he better fasten it or have his body back and zip the closest thing he's had to hit to smack him.
Yeah, Shady Records artist Joe Budden also had a shot thrown at his direction by M, which was a lackadaisical diss anyways from one of the GOATs because we have already heard Hollow Da Don bring up Budden's alleged domestic violence issues, which ended up being dropped. Hollow mentioned that in a previous battle those two had. So it wasn't the most original diss, but it did get people talking and has made Budden address it again, so in a way it was successful. So now we're patiently waiting for Budden to respond musically. And in case that does happen, it could lead to one of the most exciting rap beefs we've had in a long time because I cannot live through another dopey confused white chick and the girl from Dr. Phil battle ever again. But before we look at the preemptive battle, let's go back to Budden and M's history. Joe made a reference to M back in 2006 on a track called Dumb Out on his Mood Music 2 mixtape where he listed off rappers who he can be compared to, basically insinuating that the stuff M put out after 8 Mile wasn't quite measuring up.
Beans before the cops came through and tried to grill him. I'm talking 9-5, Big L before they killed him. M before 8 Mile.
Now fast forward a few years later after Budden had rap beefs with The Game and Prodigy from Mobb Deep, he makes an appearance behind M in the Forever music video back in 2009. And to a vegetarian's disgust, Slaughterhouse was signed to Shady Records after that, where they dropped one album and a few ridiculous ciphers together. But Budden started subliminally saying things were wrong at Shady Records in his 2015 track Slaughtermouse, where he gave M props but was labeled as frustrated due to the label situation. And all was quiet until Budden, who was part of a commentary show called Everyday Struggle, touched upon the track Untouchable off of Revival. And while a bridge or a tunnel, Joe doesn't give a how he comes across.
It's trash. One of the worst songs I've ever heard.
Now I'm a big Joe fan. I got his autographed CD right up there. I'm also a big fan of M, but I had to side with Joe on that one. That song just wasn't for me. It was weak like 7 Days, and while Revival was dope lyrically, it just wasn't connecting. The features didn't satisfy hip-hop fans, and the production was off, which made a lot of people unhappy, including Marshall Mathers, who apparently heard all this about it, and thanks to that, we got Kamikaze. And on Kamikaze, he dissed Budden for those comments he made on Everyday Struggle. So the stage is set for a Budden and Eminem beef, and Budden comes back with a podcast response?
Let me tell you what Joe Budden has thought this entire time. I've been better than you this entire f***ing decade.
All right, so let's break down this decade debate. Let's throw out album sales because that is not what this is about. Plus, we know M would wash Budden like a bathtub anyways in that category. So, for the last 10 years, M has dropped Relapse, Recovery,
Fire,
the Marshall Mathers LP2,
not bad,
Revival, and Kamikaze.
Fire.
In the last 10 years, Budden has dropped Halfway House,
not bad,
Padded Room,
not bad,
Escape Route,
Fire,
No Love Lost, All Love Lost,
Fire,
and Rage and the Machine.
Not bad. Along
Along with his work with Slaughterhouse and 2 mixtapes, Mood Music 4 and The Loose Quarter. So, who has been better since 2008? Well, record sales or who the machine markets best. Let's base this off who has better content. As far as album-wise, it's pretty close, but for 2 MCs who like to be judged off their lyrical ability, M out-rapped Budden on all the ciphers they did together, had better bars on his albums along with more standout tracks. M is better lyrically and has a better flow since he can rap Usain Bolt fast or normal speed, and when Joe tries to rap fast, it just sounds forced. M's delivery is better, but that one is close, and I would take Joe's storytelling ability over M, but by a slim margin. So, all things considered, Eminem gets the nod, but for those of you who think Joe is average or just a pushover, you should get pushed off a cliff because Joey is a legendary lyricist. And when you think about who Eminem has beef with in the past, none of those people can hold Joe's pen. Ja Rule, Benzino, Mariah Carey, Not scaring anyone. Well, unless it's Mariah Carey with no makeup trying to sing without lip syncing. Cannabis deserves a honorable mention, but those two never fully went at it, so Budden would pose the toughest threat Eminem has ever battled against. And obviously, Joe knows some inside stuff from what he said on his podcast during his time on Shady Records. Budden is a master when it comes to providing great content lyrically. I would encourage anyone who's unfamiliar with his music to check it out. You'll find great, meaningful lyrics that many people can relate to, whether that was dealing with depression or everyday struggles with life. And Joe also gives out some gut-checking punchlines.
Why is he so mad at the world? I take it out on tracks, I R.I.P. it. So even to the producer, it's hard to ID it. Outnumbered, outspoken, outcasted, outweighed, outrageous odds, and outlasted, outlandish. So I learned to outwit him, I outsmart him, outgrew him, and outdid him. Sounding real tough, A-Lonnie move weight like he's a monster. I'm looking at his keys like Mashonda.
Now, in case you forgot, Mashonda was Swizz Beatz' ex-wife who had concern over Swizz's relationship with Alicia Keys while they were still married, and guess what? She was right. Or when Budden was dissing Drake and he said, "I'll kill a gram without weighing a thing." Now, Drake's government name is Aubrey Graham, so I'll kill a gram. Come on, man. But instead of hitting the booth, Budden keeps reminding us that he's retired, which is a tired excuse. Remy Ma called him vagina for not responding, but Budden said that the diss wasn't good enough for him to reply to. He also keeps mentioning how M is just rapping, but he's not really saying anything, which is definitely bullshit because M gives great content. Don't believe me? Well, ask Joe.
But M is always going to provide great content because he's one of the best wordsmiths to ever live.
So to say that M doesn't have any content over the last decade is more of a stretch than the downward dog. Revival had a lot of content on it addressing current issues in society, along with his BET cypher about Trump. And all those albums we went over before all had content on them. So for Budden to say that he doesn't makes him come across as a hypocritical critic and would probably make M want to put out more fight music. So, come on, Joe. Let's see you dust off that mic. M has baited you twice now, including on Kill Shot, RIP MGK. And we know you're capable of giving us a great response record, but the question is, will you do it? If these two get into a serious, legit rap beef, I'm taking M over Joe because M is just the better overall rapper, but Joe is a formidable opponent, and I wouldn't be shocked if M lost a battle to him. And Joe, on your podcast, you said you live for this kind of stuff, but if you don't put out anything, we will just look at you as being dead wrong. And if that's the case, then I hope Wu-Tang Clan beat your ass for a second time. What's up, everyone? My name is John Madden, and if you want to check out more of my work, hit that subscribe button or visit my blog 2centbeatdown.net.